أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I hope you are all doing well, dear students, and you are having happy times with your family members. In previous lecture, we studied simple present tense and present simple tense. We also talked about the differences between present simple tense, and also we talked about the difference between present simple tense and present continuous tense. So the exercises are on page 29 to page 27. Do the exercises. If you have any question regarding the yesterday's lesson, so put your question forward. I will try my best to get your question answered. And also we talked about the past tense in details. We also studied the simple past tense. The exercises are in the relevant pages. You can go and do the exercises. Okay, today our new lectures are, today we will cover two other tenses. The first tense that we are going to cover is past continuous tense with all cases. This is our new lecture. We will study past continuous tense with all the cases, and we will also study future tense, simple future tense. Okay, so this is our 10th week lecture, and I hope you follow this and watch the video till the end. About simple past tense. So in this video we'll be talking about past continuous tense. So let's get started. Past continuous tense. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the past continuous tense. So it's also called past progressive tense. We can also call it past progressive tense. Some people call it past continuous tense, and some people call it past progressive tense. Okay, so past progressive tense and past continuous tense, no difference in the meaning. Okay, so let me namely explain this. Why do we call it past? Because it's in the family of past, so that's hence we call it past tense. Why do we call it continuous? Because it focuses a lot on the duration of an action or on the continuation of an action. Henceforth we call it past continuous tense. And why do we call it tense? Tense is a group of word. Tense is a form of verb which shows function of the verb related to time, right? And it's also called progressive and continuous tense. Okay, so let's see. The first thing we will study is the structure of tenses. So these are the structure. This is the structure, main structure of past continuous tense. Subject plus was, were, verb ing, and plus complement. So these are the structure. Before we move on to the usage of past continuous tense, let's make examples on the structures, right? Okay. So the first structure, positive structure for past continuous tense we have is subject. Why do you use subject to make base of a sentence? And after that we used to be verb, was and were. Why do we use was and were? Without was and were we cannot make any continuous tense. If it is any continuous tense, there should be was and were. So was and were are used to show the continuous, the continuation of an action. Okay, and then plus verb ing. So we use verb ing or present participle. Verb plus ing, or you can also call it verb ing, plus complement. Okay, and at the end plus dot. So this is, so now give me a subject. So for example, a subject will be give me a subject. If you give me subject, come on, think of a subject. No, think of a subject. Okay, for example, you say he. For he is a singular. For singular we use was, were. Remember, boys or girls, was is used for singular and were is used for plural subjects. Okay, so he is a singular, so we use was. Was what? Was what? He was working. For example, he was working on her new project. He was working on his new project. His. Okay, he was working on his new project. So you see, he is the subject of an action. Okay, and was is to be verb itself. Working is verb ing. Okay, so he was working on his new project. You see this? He was working on his new project. So it shows that the action was happening in the past. We will talk about the usage. Another example for plural, we say they were talking about the new teacher. They were talking about the new lecturer. See this? Now, lecturer. They were talking about the new lecturer. See, there is the subject. Were is to be verb. Talking is verb ing, and about the new lecture is what? This is the complement. Okay, there. This was the positive structure of past continuous tense. The positive structure. Now let's talk about the negative structure of past continuous tense. Remember, this was the positive, and now let's talk about the negative structure of past continuous tense. So, negative structure for past continuous tense, we have subject, right? And after subject, we have verb to be verbs. These are helping verbs of past continuous tense, plus not. What's not according to grammar? Not is a negation adverb. Remember, dear students, what's not? A plus not. Not is a negation adverb. It changes positive sentence into negative. Whenever you want to change a positive sentence into negative, put not. Not is a negation adverb. Okay. After that, we use verb ing or present participle ing, right, plus complement. So now this is okay. Now let's make example. Let's change this example into what? Into negative. This one. So I would say he was not, or the contraction form is wasn't. He was not or wasn't working on his new project. He was not or he was not working on his new project. You see here the sentence is negative. Positive sentence change into negative. We only add not. I told you what's not. Change the second example. They were not, or they weren't. They were not, or they weren't. Or what? They were not, or they weren't talking about the new lecturer. They were not talking about the new lecturer. So this is this sentence is what? This sentence is negative one. Now positive and negative. It means they are not doing this action. Now after this we have positive interrogative. Positive interrogative. So as I said that the helping verbs of past continuous tense are was and were. So bring the was and were to the beginning of a sentence or at the beginning of a sentence. So we say was, were, subject plus, right, plus what? Plus verb ing plus complement. And at the end should be question mark, plus question mark. Now change this example. Was he? You say, was he working? Was he working on his new project? See the question mark. If the answer is affirmative, you say yes, he was. If it is negative, you say no, he wasn't. Now, this is how you make it, okay? This is the interrogative one. Now let's change the second example. So I say, were they talking about the new lecturer? Were they talking about the new lecturer? Yes, they were. No, they were not. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. Okay, yes, they were. No, they were not. After that, we have got negative interrogative. So negative interrogative, we have negative interrogative. We have got two kinds of structure in negative interrogative. One for positive, one for formal, and one for informal. So let's study first formal one. So for formal, we have subject. Was, were, plus subject, plus not, plus verb ing, plus verb ing plus complement, and plus question mark. This is, how do we change this? For example, was, this is formal one, okay? You say, was he not working on his new project? Was he not working on his new project? See, yes, he was, and no, he wasn't. Now, this is the second example. We'll say, were they talking about the new lecturer? Were they talking about the new lecturer? You see that? Sorry, here is not missing. Were they not talking about the new lecturer? Okay, this was a formal one. Now let's talk about the informal. For informal we have so we say subject. No, it's a question. So we say was, were, plus not, plus subject, plus verb, plus ing, and plus complement. Okay, and plus question mark. So you should say that was he not? No, it's like was not or wasn't. Was not or wasn't he working on his new project? Was not or wasn't he working on his new project? Yes, he was. No, he wasn't. This is informal one. Weren't they talking about the new lecturer? Weren't they talking about the new lecturer? Now, dear students, these were the structures of present simple, past continuous tense. If you have any question regarding the structure, just pause the video and take a note for yourself. These are the all structure. This is how we make a sentence in past continuous tense. Now let's come to the question and let's answer the question, why do we use past continuous tense? Okay, so let's start. We will study the usages. The first usage we have is past continuous tense. It expresses an action that was in progress in the past with or without a particular time. So past continuous tense talks about an action that was in progress in the past, right, with or without particular time, right? So what's past continuous tense? It talks about an action, which was in progress or not progress at some specific time where in the past. Whenever you talk about an action which was in progress at some specific or unspecific time, you have to use past continuous tense. Remember that past continuous tense is a second form of present continuous tense. Whatever action is shown in the present continuous tense is already is also shown by past continuous tense, but the time differences in the timeline differences in the present action for present activities, for the present continuation, and for the present duration we use present continuous tense, and for the past duration, past continuation, we use past continuous tense. Remember these differences. So now شاگردان عزیز ما میگیم که استعمال اولی past continuous tense it expresses an action میگه به ما یک عمل نشان میدهد there was in progress که در جریان بود in the past در گذشته یا در ماضی with or without a particular time با همراه مشخص و یا همراه وقت نامشخص. یعنی اینجا ضرور نیست که وقت مشخص باشه. قسمی که در simple past tense ضروری است در این ضروری نیست که عمل باید مشخص باشه، یعنی وقت عمل باید مشخص باشه، یعنی وقت باید معلوم باشه. این ضروری نیست، اما این باید ضروری است که یک عمل در جریان بود یا نبود. هرگاه که شما در مورد یک عمل صحبت میکنین که در گذشته در وقت معین یا غیر معین جریان داشت، شما برای قسم عمل باید past continuous tense را استفاده کنین. به طور مثال, for example, I was studying English last night. See the second example, they were watching TV. So this action was happening when last night. این عمل چه وقتی میشد؟ دیشب, right? دیشب که از ما میگم مطالعه میکردم، یعنی این عمل جریان بود, right? من مطالعه میکردم. Because they were watching TV, اونها تلویزیون مشاهده میکردن یا میدیدن یا سیر میکردن. این در جمله شما میبینین که یک عمل در گذشته چی بود؟ جریان داشت, right? اما اگر این منفی شود مطلب جریان نداشت, right? مثلا for example میگن که she was talking to Ali last night, or she was going to restaurant, like این با تغییر میشه یک استعمال دیگه است و رو باز ما میخوانیم. ما میگیم که the other example, for example, I say we were looking at the window, or they were cleaning the room. Okay, دیگه example آره. یک دوسری example شما هم بگوین شاگردان عزیز. Okay, so now let's move on. The other usage of past continuous tense is it shows that the first action was in progress and suddenly another action happened in the middle of the first action. We must remember that the time words when and while are used in this case. شاگردان عزیز ای به ما یک عمل نشان میدهد که در گذشته در جریان بود، یعنی در دو عمل ها را نشان میدهد. البته it shows that first action was in progress. ای به ما یک نشان میدهد که عمل اول it shows that the first action was in progress. ای به ما نشان میدهد که عمل اول در جریان بود and suddenly another action happened. Suddenly یعنی ناگهان دیگه عمل واقع شد in the middle of the first action در مابین عمل اول. We must remember that time words when and while are used in this case. ما باید یاد داشته باشیم که when and while time word یا کلمات وقت این استفاده میشه. Remember, boys or girls, we say that dear students, when and while, these are called time verbs. We call them a conjunction, right? Both of them are called conjunction. They are used to show adverb time, right? So you could say adverb clause of time. So when is conjunction and while is also conjunction. When used with simple past tense, right? When is used with which tense? Simple past tense. And while is used with past continuous tense. When case the simple past tense استفاده میشه و while که است در past continuous tense استفاده میشه. So when means at or during the time that something happened. When means at or during the time that something happens. Or while means the time when something happened. While means during the time that something is happening, right? During means that during the time that something is happened. When means during the time that something happens. It happened, happens or happened. This was happening, right? Okay, so it is used. So while is used with past, okay, dot continuous tense. Okay, so it means that after a while we use past continuous tense. And tense, what do you say when is used with simple past tense? Okay, so now you see here it means شاگردان عزیز when که است یک وقت مشخص را به ما نشان میده. هم میگن که در جریان یا وقت که میگن اون وقت که یک عمل واقع میشد یا این وقت که یک عمل در جریان بود, right? When بعد از when ما simple past tense استفاده میکنیم و بعد از while ما past continuous tense استفاده میکنیم. See the structures: past progressive plus simple past plus comma plus past progressive, right? Example: while I was writing my homework. تا اینجا که است simple past tense است نه؟ No, past continuous tense. While I was writing my homework میگه زمانی که ما کار خانگی را نوشته میکردم. این عمل در جریان بود. درسته؟ دیگه عمل واقع شد. My father called me. پدرم به ما زنگ زد. شما ببینید ما گفتم که بعد از while ما past continuous tense استفاده میکنیم قسمی که اینجا نوشته کردیم. So here you say while I was writing my homework زمانی که ما کار خانگی خود را نوشته میکردم my father called me. یعنی این عمل در جریان بود. عمل اول که است در جریان بود دیگه عمل واقع شد, right? ولی این کار داره که رقت کرده باشه یا نکرده باشه. When my father called me I was writing my homework. اگر شما میخواین که نمی جمله که با همراه when بگوین باید از when باید که از اینا استفاده کنین. چرا؟ به خاطر که simple past tense است. اینا باید اول استفاده کنین. مثلا when my father called me I was writing my homework. میتونین که قسمی نوشته کنین, right? یک دیگه example ها ما میدیم که شما بهتر بفهمین, so you better understand. So let's see here I give you some other example. For example, I say I was, okay, we say they were or he was teaching English. He was teaching English. کدام زمان است؟ Past continuous tense. بعد از این باید چی بیاید؟ when I came. He was teaching English when I came. See? No. لیسی ما یه عمل جریان بود که یه عمل واقع شد. Right? در گذشته ولی واقع نیست. خب اگر یه در past continuous tense میگین چه قسمی باید بگوین؟ while he was teaching English comma I came. یه قسمی. Understand this, students? امید که فهمیده باشید در مورد اینجی. Okay, so yeah, the jumla, for example, we say that I was, yeah, for example, they were watching TV, or you can also say they were playing game when no comma when they arrived when we arrived زمانی که ما رسیدیم اونها گیم میکردن. یه عمل در جریان بود، ای واقع شد، یه عمل دیگه واقع شد. اگر یه دکات بدکتی while میگن یا همراه while میگن، باید بگن که when while یا یک قسم we arrived while they were playing game. While they were playing game, we arrived. ये قسمی. Understand this, students? Good. Okay. بعداً استعمال سوم ما داریم که it shows that both actions were in progress simultaneously or at the same time without any interruptions. We must remember that only the subordinating conjunction while is used in this case. شاگردان عزیز، یکی از با ما یک عمل دو عملا را نشان می‌دهد که در همزمان simultaneously means همزمان، در همزمان در جریان بودن بدون کدام interruption، بدون کدام قطع کردن یا مداخلت. یعنی هر دو عمل جریان داشتن در گذشته. شما باید این وقت هم past continuous استفاده کنین. مثلا we must remember that only coordinating conjunction are used here. اینجا شما باید یاد داشته باشین که فقط coordinating conjunction while استفاده میشه، when استفاده نمی‌کنیم. چرا when استفاده نمی‌کنیم؟ به خاطر که when که است با ما یک عمل نشان میده که در simple past واقع شده باشه، جریان نشان نمیده. مثلا you see the example، دو عمل بود در گذشته در جریان بوده بدون قطع کردن یکدیگر. مثلا while I was watching TV my brother was writing homework. زمانی که ما تلویزیون مشاهده میکردم برادر ما کار خانگی نوشته میکرد. استعمال دومی بود که یک عمل در جریان بود، دیگه عمل واقع شد. شاید عمل اول قطع باشه که وین while استفاده میکنیم. و در اینکه است عمل دو عمل در جریان بوده بدون قطع کردن. یعنی اگر ما گراف درا کنیم، if we just draw the diagram, here we have دو عمل در جریان بوده در گذشته. Two actions were just happening at the same time. دو عمل که بود در مشخص وقت چی بود؟ در جریان بود. Here we have past، اینجا ما past داریم. اینجا we have here we have present, right, and here we have future. هرگاه که شما در مورد یک دو عمل صحبت میکنین که در گذشته در جریان بود در عین وقت simultaneous در همزمان، باید past continuous tense. اگر یک عمل ایتومی بود که جریان داشت right، در اینجا که یک عمل دیگه واقع شد، یک عمل قطع کرد و او دیگه عمل در اینجا واقع شد. So that's it. ایده باز ما the second usage ما میخوانیم که when while خواندیم و یکی است دو همزمان، عمل هایی که همزمان واقع شود. مثلا I was teaching conversation class while Ali was teaching intensive class. زمانی که علی intensive class تدریس میکرد ما conversation تدریس میکردیم. یعنی هر دو عمل در یک جای بودن. For example 6 بجه من تدریس میکردم، اون تدریس میکرد. No problem. وقتی که شما در مورد عمل صحبت میکنین که در عین وقت واقع میشد، ما باید past continuous استفاده کنین. قطعی استفاده while. مثلا ما میگیم که while she was washing the dishes، زمانی که او ظروفا را میشوید ما چی میکردم؟ I was cooking. یعنی for example ما آشپزی میکردم. هر دو عمل در جریان بود، این و این بدون قطع کردن یک دیگه. for example while ما میگیم که they were looking at me. They were looking at اونا مرا میدیدن while I was delivering speech on human behavior. زمانی که ما در مورد برخورد انسان ها یا سلوک انسان ما پرزنتیشن یعنی صحبت ها میکردم، اونها مرا میدیدن. هر دو عمل در یک وقت جریان داشته بود. Okay, I hope you understand this. Next we have is for the usage of past continuous tenses. The tense is also used to give an idea without persistent habits or long going habits. In the past by using always, continually, constantly, forever, perpetually, repeatedly, and so on. اگر یاد داشته باشین for temporary action که از ما continuous tense را استفاده میکردیم present continuous tense اینی گذشته حالتش است. میگه this tense also used to give an idea. این زمان میگه هم یک نظریه میده about persistent habit عادتهای دوامدار یعنی ثابت که در گذشته بودن or long habits in the past و یا عادتهای طولانی تر در گذشته by using با استفاده کردن always, continually, constantly, forever, perpetually و repeatedly. این کلمات را ما استفاده میکنیم معنایش بتانه که در دیکشنری هم پیدا کنین. خب بازم اگر معنایش میکنیم so always means همیشه و continually means به طور دوامدار constantly means به طور ثابت forever و always همیشه یک معنی داره so ما معنایش میکنیم forever همیشه you know and the other word is perpetually means دائما right and repeatedly تکرار یا مکررن به طور مکررن یا تکرارن. یکی عادت می بود که در او که سپیکر از تان شکایت میکند و ما این جمله را استفاده میکنیم past continuous tense اینها را استفاده میکنیم که یک عادت داشتن در گذشته این عادت که بود ثابت بود یا از این عادت که از مردم شکایت میکردن باز ما continuous tense استفاده میکنیم. For example he was regularly gambling یعنی میگه به طور عادی یا هر وقت گمبلینگ میکرد. گمبلینگ معنی قمار میکرد یا عادتش بود باید آره شکر که نمیکنه مثلا فار اگزامپل گمبلینگ یا عادتش هست. عادت یک چی بود پرسیستنت عادت بود دوامدار میکرد مسلسل میکرد یعنی My dog was always barking at 7 a.m. میگه 6 a.m. در 6 بجه میگه سگ ما همیشه میجفید یا غوغا میکرد. یک عادت دوامداری سگ ما بود. یا ما میگیم که دیگه example for example we say that I was always getting up early. ما همیشه وقت بیدار میشدم. این عادت ما بود. یعنی we were forever playing we were seeing each other forever. Like for example, they were constantly seeing each other, or they were secretly seeing each other, or we were continually talking about the new teacher, or we say I was continually teaching SCC special conversation classes. So this is the fourth usage shows that an action which was a persistent action. So for the persistent actions we use past continuous tense. Okay. The fifth usage of past continuous tense it expresses a gradual process or development in the past. Remember that for gradual change which is happening in the present we use present continuous tense, and for gradual change that was taking place in the past we use past continuous tense. For example it expresses a gradual process. یکی از به ما یک پروسه یک مرحله تدریجی را نشان میدهد و یا ترقی پیشرفت یعنی یک پیشرفت در گذشته که است یعنی تدریجی واقع میشد. یک پیشرفت بود یا یک مرحله بود که تدریجی پیش میرفت یا یک ترقی بود که یا یک کار بود یا یک پیشرفت بود که آهسته آهسته پیش میرفت در گذشته. با این قسم عمل ها ما past continuous tense استفاده میکنیم. For example, you see this, the world population was increasing day by day in 1990, or the weather was getting hotter and hotter day by day. یاد داشته باشین من قبلا هم در آغاز ویدیو یادآوری کردم که past continuous tense که از حالت دوم present continuous tense است. اوکی در present continuous tense که اکمال تدریجی جریان میافته یا تدریجی تغییر میشه present continuous tense و این تدریجی در گذشته بود باز ما past continuous tense استفاده میکنیم. So مثلا the world population was increasing day by day in 1990. در 1990 نفوسی دنیا که از روز به روز زیادتر شده میرفت ولی خونه میرنه این کار تدریجی day by day به ما نشان میده که این عمل تدریجی پیش میشد right day by day تدریجی عمل واقع شدنی بوده. The weather was getting hotter and hotter day by day. مطلب که از هوا میگه روز به روز گرمتر شده میرفت right اینجا یا ما میگم که your English for example my English was improving day by day in Salam University. My English was improving day by day in Salam University. یا میگه که I was getting lazier and lazier in math class for example like in say English class. because I have to mark it anyhow. So that's how we say it whenever we talk about gradual process or development in the past. So we should use past continuous tense. Remember that gradual process or development in the past. For gradual process and development, we use past continuous tense. I hope you understood there, students. Okay, so let's move on to the next usage of past continuous tense. The next usage of past continuous tense, it sometimes may express that a past action was casual and unplanned. It sometimes may express that a past action was casual or unplanned. این کیس به ما هم نشان میدهد که عمل گذشته که بود casual بود یا unplanned بود. What's casual? Casual, we say, if an action is casual, that action is relating to the connection between two things, right? Or we can say, حالا ما casual میگیم که یک عمل عادی بود، بیان کننده بود، یا یک عمل علتی بود، یا casual یا عادی عمل میگیم با شما. و unplanned کیس غیر تصمیم غیر پلان شده بود. Unplanned نخواهیم میفهمین when an action is unplanned it means یکی بود غیر تصمیم شده بود، یعنی it was not planned or expected. Whenever you talk about an action that was not planned or expected, so you should use past continuous tense. Okay there students. Now example. The student was talking about teaching our class. The student was what? The student was talking about teaching our class. It means it was casual, right? Casual action. The students were complaining about their new lecturer. Now, when the office sent the new lecturer, so they don't plan that the students will complain, right? They don't expect that, unexpected action. But the students suddenly start complaining about the new lecture. It means that you have to show this action in simple past tense. With simple past tense, you have to express this action. Past continuous tense, you have to explain these actions. Okay, the students were complaining about their new lecturer. I hope you understood this part. Okay, so now we also have the other usage of past continuous tense, the 7th usage. It sometimes expresses an action that started before the stated time and continued after that in the past. It sometimes expresses that started before the stated time که شروع شد پیش از وقتی که بیان شده بود، یعنی یک وقت مشخص شده بود از اون وقت شروع شد و continued after that in the past. و بعد از اون عمل مثلا ما یک عمل گفته بودیم که یک کار 11 بجه شروع میشه، درسته؟ اما اون عمل که از 10 بجه شروع شد، 10 بجه شروع شد و می قسم دوام یا جریان یافت تا 1 بجه یا 2 3 4 بجه. این به مربوط باش عمل میشه. اینا میگن این قسم عمل را نشون میده. For example, what were you doing at 9 o'clock? 9 بجه تو چی میکردی؟ یعنی عمل که بود 9 بجه بعد میشد اما تو نمیکردی، تو نامده بودی. At 9 o'clock I was watching and studying that library. 9 بجه که بود ما چی میکردم؟ تلویزیون می‌بینم و مطالعه می‌کردم در چی؟ در لایبرری. اردو عمل از اول بعد عمل شروع شد، right? Okay. The next one is the next usage of past continuous tenses. It is used in polite inquiries since it is even more polite and tentative than simple past tense. Okay, so polite it is used in polite inquiries. Inquiry تحقیق میگه. این میگه در تحقیقات چی؟ تحقیقات مؤدب استفاده میشه به خاطر ازی که it is even more polite. این میگه به خاطر که زیاد polite است، زیاد مؤدب است، tentative و زیاد ابتدایی است، یعنی چی است؟ موقت است، tentative موقت میگن. Then the simple past tense نسبت به simple past tense, right? یعنی در polite inquiries، در تحقیقات مؤدب ما شما past continuous tense استفاده میکنیم به خاطر این که این زیاد مؤدب است و زیاد دائمی است یا موقت است، دائمی نیست، ابتدایی است. For example, I was wondering if you could tell me where she lives. Right? Even I wondering با مؤدب استفاده میشه. اینا تو میگفتم میتونه که I wonder if you could tell me or I am wondering. اما وقتی که شما مؤدب سوال میکنین I wonder کوشش کنین که در past continuous tense استفاده کنین. بعد از این که کدام جمله می آید این که simple present tense هست. درسته؟ I was wondering if you could tell me where she lives. اینا رو polite request میگیم، polite inquiries میگیم. polite questions میگم. I was thinking if you could direct me how to find the office. اینجا ببینید I was thinking، من میگه فکر میکردم که اگر تو بتانی که مرا به دفتر راهنمایی کنی که چطور پیدا کنم. درسته؟ یک عمل چی بوده؟ یکی جریان داشت. این نیست که گذاشته و نشان میده، این مؤدب است در سر، به خاطر ادب استفاده میشه. جمله در simple present tense است. خب این جمله simple present tense است، معنیش حال میده. خب هدف از است که the polite inquiries ما این استفاده میکنیم. Understand the students polite inquiry whenever we are inquiring polite, we are inquiring something in a polite way, so we have to use a simple past tense. Am I right? Now, past continuous tense. Usage number 9. It emphasizes that a repeated action only went on for a limited and temporary period of time. این که زمان نشان میده یا تاکید میکنه که یک عمل در repeated action، یک عمل تکراری went on for limited and temporary action. پیش رفت برای موقت و محدود و موقت. هر وقت که شما در مورد یک عمل صحبت میکنین که او تاکید میکنین البته که موقت باشه یا محدود باشه، شما present simple tense استفاده کنین. past continuous tense استفاده کنین. Example, you see, when Ali was in hospital, I was visiting him twice a week. میگه زمانی که علی در هسپتال بود ما در هفته 2 دفعه او را میدیدم. یعنی این کیس چی بود؟ لیمیتد بود، تمپرری، موقت به عمل تکراری بود. یعنی هر وقت که شما عملهای تکراری که موقت باشه نشان میدین باید past continuous tense استفاده کنین. To be honest, I was going to gym twice a week. To be honest, I was going to gym twice a week. اگر بر حقیقت بگویم من در هفته 3 دفعه به جیم میرفتم. اینجا ببینید یک عمل موقت تکرار بود. اوکی؟ سو هر وقت که شما عمل موقت را نشان میدهین یا تکراری عمل باشه، موقت باشه، شما past continuous tense استفاده کنین. اوکی. Now, this is the structure how to change a past continuous tense into. اینها را در آغاز درس ما خواندیم، استراکچرهایشان هستن. اگر میخواین که استاپ کنین به خود ویدیو را پاس کنین و این استراکچرها را با هم بگیرین. Okay, so it was our today's lecture. این بود درس امروزی ما شاگردان عزیز. If you have any questions, suggestions about today's lesson, you are most welcome to ask me. The thing is, sometime شما کار کنید شاگردان عزیز, make examples. Do one thing, practice for each cases, make 1 or 2 examples in your notebooks, so this way you will understand more and you will practice it. So wish you all the best, dear students. Stay safe and stay happy with your family members. May Allah bless you.